What is up, YouTube? KM888 here, back again with a dueling book video for my Traptrix in-depth series. So the first match against Paleo is already on my channel. If you want to see it, check it out. Series will be linked at the end of the video as well. If you want to just see the match, you can just click the link down in the description. Let's get into this second match. It is against Red, Green, Yellow Gadget. I love the name, so nostalgic. And he's playing Melodious. So I wanted to add this one as my second match because, to be honest, I don't know Melodious that well yet. So I'm gonna go and show both our hands, and as you can see, we are beginning. So first of all, my hand. I have an Ash Blossom, I have Pudica, I have Prosperity, Mantis, and Impermanence. Truth be told, a great hand. Like, nothing else to say about it. I have two hand traps just in case I went second, but I'm going first. And then I still have full combo. I have Pudica, I have Mantis, and I have a Prosperity on top, which might as well surge anything that I want. Top 6, you never know what's in there. For my opponent, they have, well, I don't know what they are playing yet, so that's always a thing. And these days, when I get to go first, I always assume the worst, which is gonna be Tempai. So I'm always gonna try and build my board for versus Tempai, but it's also good against other things. Like it's a standard Traptrix stuff these days. So yeah. But for my opponent, they have First Movement Solo, a really good card. Like, it's a starter. They have Ostinato, they have Cannon, the Melodious Diva, they have an Imperm, and they have Couplet, the Melodious Songstress. So basically they have 3 starters right here, and that's great. And 1 extender, because if they have a Melodious, they can just special summon this card. Let's get into game 1. So the first thing, let's see, next play. I'm going to start off using Pudica. Now, the reason that I do this, of course, while I have the Prosperities, I want to get the Garden out of my deck first. That way, if Prosperity gives me a Parallel Exceed, there's a little bit more chance for that, right? So, yeah. Also, like, Parallel Exceed right here is good, or any of the trap holes are amazing, because a trap hole means that I don't have to discard my infinite impermanence that I have, which is honestly really good. So yeah, let's check that out. Pot of Prosperity. Let's see if I can check what I banished. So right here I banished my Almirage because I already have Traptrix monsters. I banished the Typhon, I'm going first. I banished my Garura. It's still in here. Later on there's gonna be matches without this because I'm now playing without Super Polys. But the Super Polys are right here in the side deck, so Garura is just dead. And then, of course, the entire Ptolemaios package. I don't know what I'm up against, and I don't have Parallel Exceed yet. So I was thinking, like, I'm probably not going to go into Ptolemaios. Probably the other cards are going to be more valuable. So that's 6. And then we're going to banish 6 cards. So I've banished Holotea, Gravedigger's Trap Hole, Veiler, Dionea, Arachnocampa, and an Imperm. Now, we have the field spell with Mantis ready, so we know we are going to get a Holotea from the Serra. I already have Imperm plus Ash, so it's really good non-engine, and I can definitely take another Imperm or Veiler. The Dionea is really cute because Dionea on top of Pudica means that I would get an extra Exceed. But, to be honest, I already have the Mantis as my second normal summon, so right here the Gravedigger's Trap Hole is the most valuable. It will make sure that my Holotea can resolve with a Gravedigger Trap Hole, that I can special Dionea, go from there, go on, you know the deal. So that's why, like, I'm taking the Gravedigger's Trap Hole. Let's put these back into the deck real fast. And right here I'm gonna do standard Traptrix combos, so Serra, Field Spell, normal summon the Mantis, get Arachnocampa, and then set the Holotea, and this is the worst part of playing Traptrix. If you have this combo without the Myrmelio, without Parallel Exceed, you have to play into Nibiru. There is, like, the only other thing that you would be able to do is, like, you won't go off, so you just set, like, 2 traps. But then you don't have anything. You just have Mantis plus a Serra. That's kind of sad. But this play kind of plays into Nip. But, I mean, to be fair, Nip, it's a mediocre card in general. So I don't suspect many people to play Nip anyway. And half of the time I play around it. So, I mean, I just take it. It's if they have it, they have it, and I have a garden to recover. If they don't have it, it's still fine. It's great. So Holothea, I'm gonna special Dionea. I said I would do that, and then setting the Gravedigger's Grapple. Now right here you have 3 monsters. You have the Serra, and the Arachnocampa in hand. So the obvious play that you can do with the garden, you can get an additional monster out of your graveyard, so you can make 2 Exceeds. Use the Arachnocampa at the end, and then special summon Serra back again to set Impermanence with the Gravedigger's Grapple. That is the standard line. Now, right here, as you can see, and this is the fun part, because I already summoned more than 5 times, and they didn't nip me, honestly, against Traptrix, you should nip there. If you don't have the nip, then I know as well. So I know he doesn't have the Nibiru. So I can just go Pinguicola, search more follow-up. And that's also really important. Especially if they are on, like, if it is Tempai. I already have 1 Arachnocampa set up. I want to search the second as well. Just to have another protection for my back row. Like, if it is Tempai, they have Harpy's Feather Duster, they have Lightning Storm, they can definitely get over 1 Arachnocampa, still try to destroy the back row. And I kind of don't want that, so yeah. So right here, searching the second Arachnocampa, using the field spell, as I said, go Dionea and summon the Redoer right here. The reason I go for Redoer, if I don't know what they're playing, I most of the time go for Redoer, because it's a better option than the Baguska in most of the matchups. And if it is Tempai, then I can still use the Redoer to bounce the field spell. So it is good. It is good against Tempai. If I know that it's Tempai when they let me go first, then I go for Baguska, because I'm 100% sure it is Tempai then, and then Baguska is just there to say no. So then they need an Imperm or a Droplet, something like that. But in cases where I'm not 100% sure, like this, I don't know what they're playing, I technically always go for Redoer, if I can. So I said I would do this, Arachnocampa, go for Serra, then I'm gonna set the Imperm and I'm gonna pass my turn. Now, the thing that I could have done as well, because this isn't optimal playing. I had the Mantis on board a couple of seconds ago. I could have used Mantis effect, add the Gravediggers back to my hand, and then the Imperm and the Gravediggers, they wouldn't know which one was the Gravediggers. So it could be important in choices where they have Cosmic Cyclone or they like stuff like that. Another thing, because I wasn't like I'm not familiar yet with Melodious in the meta, but now I am. So the thing that you definitely have to do is put Imperms, if you have them right now, just put them on the sides. So right here, this Imperm and this Gravedigger Grapple, they just should have switched. Like, if they were switched, it's always easier for me. But as you're gonna see, like, will it matter? Who knows? They are starter turn, and they have Droll and Lockbird now as the 6th card. That kind of sucks for them. Yeah, it's what it is. Like, these things happen all the time. They have an Imperm. Honestly, I don't know why they are keeping it. By now, I would have either used it, but maybe they just don't want to trigger my Serra for one instance, but I really don't know. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna use my Redoer, and I get a spell, and it's an Ostinato. So now I know it's Melodious. I really wanted to test again. I'm even saying it in the chat. So yeah. He goes Ostinato. I know you can Ash that, you can Bell that, so I just Ash. It's a really good starter, you don't want that, so yeah. Ashing it, really, really good thing. Then they go first movement solo, they're gonna go into Refrain, Melodious, Songstress, and when they use the effects to search, like right here, I'm gonna try to show it. If this card is normal or special summoned, add 1 Melodious monster from your deck to your hand, except itself. It's a really good way to start your combos, because this thing will just get into their like, I think it's probably gonna get into the things that make them fuse. I don't really want that. So yeah, and that's why as well I'm going to imperm it. Now if this imperm was in any of the scales, it would have been better, because these things, they reset themselves in scales and then they still have effects. That's something I learned like along the way, of course, so yeah. Now that I've used the trap card, Sarah can trigger. I'm going to special summon Pudica, and then Pudica is going to banish the monster. That's really good for me because it was special summoned, and now they don't have anything on board. That's always better. Sarah's going to trigger again. I'm going to set Holotea. All really easy standard plays right here. I still have my Redoer, and I still have my Pinguicula right here. I could have used Pinguicula actually to put Refrain under it. I probably should have done that as well. I don't know why I didn't. But as you can see, like, it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna use my Redoer. I'm gonna bounce this. Like, as I said before, I don't know why he is keeping this imperm. Like, his field was empty. He could have impermed to Redoer. Sure, I'll chain it. I get a draw. I get to banish this. But then he can go off. Like, he has his couplet. He can, like, with couplet, like, its effect. If you do not control any face-up monsters other than Melodious, you can add one Melodious spell trap from your deck to your hand. So you can actually add something worthwhile. But maybe it didn't matter? I believe there is like a fusion spell that can fuse from hand, field, and the pendulum scales. So that could have been a thing, like with the cannon and couplets. So you probably could have started things. But I don't know, like, maybe he's keeping the imperm for next week. Yeah, I really don't know. So I'm just gonna bounce that thing to the top. And right here, like, I even draw, and he just doesn't have any plays yet. So he admits defeat. I don't know what his thought process was, of course. It's really hard that way, but yeah. Things is what it is. Okay, game 2. Now I know it's Melodious. I know they have pendulum scale effects. I know they have a lot of monster effects on fields. I know they summon a lot. That's all that I know about the deck. I still don't know like end board combos, what monsters do. Like really, it's hard if you don't know a deck in and out. But these are the testing matches that I'm doing. So yeah. His hand, because he's going first, he has Prosperity, he has First Movement Solo, he has Soprano, the Melodious Songstress, and this thing is the Fusion monster. So when special summoned, you can target Melodious in graveyard, add to the hand, and then once per turn, it also has a fusion mechanic where it can fuse with monsters that he controls. So they have to be on the field, but it's really important for him to have it. And then the Refrain and the Couplet. So both scales, both searchers as well. So this is a gas hand. Now what do I have? I have a Nip, I have an Imperm, I have Pudica, I have Arachnocampa, and I have a Ghost Ogre. Now the thing that I should have probably done, because this, like, there are monsters, I believe, that, like this thing, the First Movement Solo. You cannot special summon monsters during turn you activate this card except Melodious monsters. This should have probably told me that he doesn't have any negates to set up, so I should have let the man go completely. Like, go off, fine sir, and make your entire board. And at the end of the combo, I should have probably nipped. And then if he has something to banish their cards, I don't know what, but like, get them off the field, like, I have no clue. I have still the Imperm, I still have a Ghost Ogre to go from there, so I should have just waited with everything to nip. But yeah, I don't do that. Learned my lesson there. And I'm just gonna go and let his turn play out a bit, so let's see. So I Imperm the Refrain. I don't want a Monster Searcher. Like, why not? Like, just let him continue. No, instead, I'm gonna be a dummy, and I am going to throw my hand traps on the first thing that I can. Yay! It's a 1-for-1 and a 1-for-1, and I mean, to be honest, I shouldn't have done that. As you're gonna see here, he's going to start, and this is going to go long ways. So he's going to get those back into his scales. He's going to summon. He still has everything. Like, this thing just adds back from the graveyard as well. He can still pendulum summon. So then there's this thing, the Bloom Harmonist, And here's where I make my second mistake. Like this thing, it summons from the deck to the points it's like to its arrows. And I'm like, oh, if I can get rid of the arrows, then he can't summon. His turn will probably like not be that much anymore. But little fool me. Like, of course, he still has his pendulum summon, and I know he added a monster back to his hand, so I should have been able to think, like, okay, if he has one more monster, then he can still play. I'm actually going to, like, as you see here, I'm going to nip. I don't know, like, probably shouldn't have done that, especially because he triggered the Bacha, and Bacha special summons, like, wait, right here. If this card is into graveyard, target one Melodious in the grave, except itself, special hit in defense. So he's going Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, like these two, and I chain Nip. I don't really know why, but that's I'm guessing that's a learning mechanism. But yeah, he summons this, and then like this should have told me everything. Like he already was going for this. He still has a monster he can pendulum summon. I use my hand traps terribly, and that's something that you have to learn. And if you don't know what the deck does, it's something that happens. And just as well, I'm playing Traptrix. The opponents often use their hand traps in terrible spots against me, so that also happens, and I can take advantage of that with my deck. But apparently I suck if I don't know their deck as well. So, but yeah, Dueling Book is great for that. It's amazing testing purposes, and this duel at least lets me learn what he wants to do. So, right here he summons the Magnificat, the Étoile, and I can finally read this thing for the first time ever. And it's basically a protection for himself while bouncing my stuff every single turn. And now that I'm reading that, that's really annoying for my deck, because if you summon Serra, the monster is already gone, the level 4. And if they just bounce the Serra, you have nothing left. And as you can see, this is exactly what happens. I get my field spell, and that's a second normal summon. That's fine. But if you don't have the second normal summon, it doesn't matter. They're not gonna give you back the level 4. They're gonna give you back the Serra. So I go field spell right here, and I'm declaring the Arachnocampa, and he's like, okay, I don't want Serra to trigger. I'm gonna go banish my fusion, and then put the Serra back. And like, to be honest, this isn't really good. So yeah, right here, like this is basically a scoop phase, but I'm gonna try and play it out to see what his deck does a bit more. It's like I said, I'm learning. I don't want to scoop something that I don't know what he does. I want to learn from this. And I go on, and we're gonna see. It's got a pendulum. This thing gets a search again, and he drew the Melodious Concerto. So if we go over this one, fusion summon one fairy fusion monster from the extra deck using monsters from your hand, field, and/or pendulum zones. And that's the kicker. You can use your cards in the pendulum zone. So things like these, if I know these cards on beforehand, I definitely play differently. But that's not easy if you don't know the cards. And that's why we learn. So the thing that you have to do, like if you have a nip, let them go off. You don't care. They can't, like the first movement solo was their first card. They can't summon anything else. They can't summon anything that's not a Melodious. And Melodious monsters, they don't typically have their negates. So yeah, Nibiru would have gone really hard. So let's go on a bit. I thought it was on play, but it wasn't. So like I'm even asking like a lot of questions if I see things. So right here, he knows I have Nibiru, but he doesn't care. Like he goes for 4, and then you're gonna see in the second main phase, he actually summons more to bait out my nip again. Just so we can banish, dodge it, and it just puts me on less and less resources. Now the thing here what's funny is I have Sarah and Holotea. I use my Holotea and he doesn't even chain his Flowering Etoile. Like if he uses Etoile to put the itself and the Shofina to the banish zone, like banish those two, return Sarah and the garden, then I just summon my Holotea. It has 24 on defense. He can attack over it with his Bacha, and then I don't have anything left except for that one Nibiru. And then he can still summon in main phase 2, and I will still probably be forced to use my Nibiru, but I don't have anything anymore except for my field. And then just a Holotea in the graveyard, I guess. But the thing that he does here is he lets it resolve. I get to Mermelio, I pop his Couplet, which doesn't even matter because if he fusion summons once, he gets it back. Then Sarah is going to set a Holotea again, and like you're gonna see, he's going to attack with 2 monsters over the Sarah, just to do more damage. Like he doesn't know my cards either, I guess. Like it's some things are really niche, like the battle protection thing from the garden. But right now, Sarah is a gunner. He knows he can't destroy any of these because of my garden, so he's going to use his fusion. He's going to banish 2, and he's going to return my Holotea and my garden to my hand. This is actually worst case scenario because Holotea I have to reset. Garden doesn't do anything right now, and he leaves the Mermelio. And this is going to let me not have any bodies. And not having bodies, on top of the fact that he's going to get his Banisher back, is really, really bad for me. Now, he wants his scale back, so he's going to go Fusion Summon between these two. Yeah, okay. Oh, I think I see something happening here, so... What was this monster effect? Okay, this thing shouldn't have come back, but he had another couplet in his extra deck, so I guess it doesn't matter. The thing is, he's trying to fuse with the Conjurer with this thing from his hand. And you definitely can, I guess. Yeah, from hand, field, and or pen zone. But because he uses a pendulum scale from the hand, it should have gone to the graveyard. I missed that earlier. Like I've seen this video like 3 times. just to look at these things' effects to learn, and I still miss that every time. So that's the thing. But this thing should have been to the graveyard, and he should have used the couplet in the extra monster zone. I don't think it's going to matter at all. I'm just gonna nip again, and he's going to banish everything from my graveyard, like all the 3 effect monsters. I don't have anything left anymore. Like you're gonna see, he's gonna banish these 3. Nip comes through. Like, okay, you have a token again. Then his spell lets him draw another card. It's just annoying. So right here, I think, okay, the only way for me to get through this is to attack over this. He lets it go through. I don't know why. This thing also has a grave effect to special summon something. But, like, he summons the Banisher, which is actually also a negate in this scenario. Yeah. Let's see, main 2. And with the things that I have, like, I don't think it even matters. I can go SP, like, banishing 1 that doesn't really matter, I think. Thing is, once again, I think I could have gone for a Typhon. I just don't know why I don't do stuff like that. I always forget I have a Typhon, I guess. So right here I tried to get my Sarah back. Probably shouldn't have done that as well. And then SP Del Knight banish again. Like, it's just not the optimal play. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah. So here we just go to game 3. And at the very least I'm gonna play decent in game 3. So let's see. Opening hands, he has Ash, he has Arya, This thing is scary, like you can't target or destroy by battle. He has the Ostinato again, Concerto, and Sonata the Melodious Diva. This thing can special summon itself when it has a monster, and then all fairy types gain 500 attack and defense. They stack, so you has multiple, they get a big boost. My hands, I have the Mantis, I have Pudica, I already have the field spell, Imperm, and Grave of Super Ancient Organism, so it's actually a really good hand. The Grave makes sure that his fusion monsters gets negated, and then he has to go for an SP early. Maybe I should play into that more, that I put up a negate for the SP as well. But for me it is enough to that he has to go into his SP early. So I try to bait that out. So here you can see for my combo I go Mantis, Serra, Field Spell, Myrmelio, and he ashes the Myrmelio, which is actually sad for me because the Myrmelio was my way to get out my combo pretty easily. And now I'm just gonna go like Garden, banish the Serra, get back the Mantis, use its effect at the Holotea so he doesn't know where it is. And I'm gonna try and end my turn without using my Serra special summon effect. But what I am going to do is, because I want to protect my back rows, like I have 3, the Imperm, the Grave, and the Holotea. I am going to go Pinguicula, I'm going to add Arachnocampa, and then I have protection. So I'm going to special. I also want to keep my Pinguicula, because Ostinato, which he actually has, sends from deck to graveyard. So you can attach with the Pinguicula, and then you have a fairy underneath it, which is really important. And we're going to see that in an instant. So we're going to go Arachnocampa. I'm going to go Serra. I have 3 back row. And right here, I don't have Arachnocampa protection. And I'm kind of scared for things like Lightning Storm, Feather Duster. So what I am going to do is, because I have the Grave of Super Ancient Organism, I have an Imperm. I hope that these are enough of interruptions right here together with the Pinguicula, so I can go Holotea into Arachnocampa for protection. So as you're going to see, he draws, and he draws a couplet. I'm going to go Holotea immediately, going to summon Arachnocampa for protection. Now, as you see, I don't need that protection right here, but for all I know, he has a Duster, he has Lightning Storm, and right here he can't destroy my Arachnocampa, he can't destroy my back row, and I'm already happy with that. So he goes Pain 1, he goes Ostinato, and that's a really good starter for that deck. So I'm going to chain my Grave of Super Ancient Organism, that way he cannot use his fusion monster effect. Now, keep in mind, the big fusion monster that they have, the one that banishes itself along other Melodiouses, it needs 3 Melodious monsters, I believe, like something like that, at least 3, I think. And then we have the Ostinato, who can only use 2 monsters. So, at the very least, he can't go into that card with Ostinato, I think. So, right here, you're going to see, he's going to send 2 refrains, for whatever reason. I really don't know. Maybe he wants the small ones. And he goes into Bacha. Now, Bacha, it cannot trigger, which is really good. And I am going to use my Pinguicula right here to take one of his refrains. Really important, because I definitely feel that I need the protection. He goes did he special it or no? I think he special summoned to Sonata. And then he goes into SP Little Knight, targeting the Gravediggers, the Grave of Super Ancient Organism. Now this is just important because, I probably could have impermed this, and then he used SP Little Knight to banish itself, and maybe something else, but I really don't, doesn't this, no, this doesn't even, no, this doesn't restrict. I maybe could have done that, but then it just banishes this alongside my Pinguicula. I didn't want that right here. I just let it go through, so he gets to summon. So like this. He activates it, and I'm thinking, okay, I can probably imperm this, because if he uses the SP effect to banish both, then he can't get the fusion one on the field alongside another Melodious anymore. So I just want to get rid of that option, and let him search. Like the search would have been something that he can do, but he opts to actually let that go through, so he doesn't get the search. Now he goes Concerto, and once again, like I forget this. Like this should have been in the graveyard, and he actually scales it up. So I didn't even notice that before. Wow, that's really annoying that I'm. Okay, you learn something every day, I guess. He gets to summon this because of that, because of the Bacha. Oh my god, I made it so hard for myself. At the very least, this was in the Impum column, so that's at least good. He's got a Pendulum Summon, the Aria, the Sonata, and right here he's gonna fuse 3. So let's see for the fusion materials. So yeah, it needs 3 in total, but also one has to be one of the fusions, so the Melodious Maestra. So yeah. And that, like, luckily for me, luckily, I have the Pinguicola on board with a fairy material, so this thing is unaffected for the fusion, at the very least. He's going to try and use the fusion to clear my entire board, and I'm just happy that he can't. So yeah, I take some damage. He has to go to main phase 2, because nothing can die even if he tries this. And he's going to attempt to go with Pinguicola and Holotea. Now, Holotea definitely can go to my hand. The Pinguicola can't, and I'm even the nice guy that says, oh, just pick another card, and he goes with Arachnocampa, and I just add it to my hand. I didn't mind at that point. Because my play stays the same. I just have to attack over the Espilil Knight, and I can go into further plays and probably make game. It was kind of funny that I didn't even know that. Okay, learning experience, we all get them. It's it's amazing. We learn together, I guess. So I draw Veiler, and this just fortifies my plan immediately. So I go Pinguicola into Espilil Knight. I just want to get rid of that. Next up, I am going to go Pinguicola effect, not detaching the fairy. I don't want to lose that one. I'm gonna go Mantis, and with the field spell and so many normal summons, this can't really go wrong anymore. So I'm using my additional normal first. I always try to do that, the additional normal, because if something happens to the Mantis and you don't have another Traptrix, you at least get to summon a hand trap for other plays. So if you have the option for a field spell normal summon, like the additional one, go for that one first. Mantis effect at Diadea. I'm going to normal the Diadea, and he has the Ghost Bell that he drew, which was funny. So he's actually going to Ghost Bell this. Now, he could have gone and used the Etoile right here to, like, bounce these back to my hands, because I used both normal summons with the Garden. He opts not to do that, and I get the chance to make a rank 4. I go for Baguska. His guys go to defense, can't do a thing anymore. Now this is good for me because I still have Arachnocampa. I can go to Serra, and because I have a Veiler and his SP is already gone, I'm pretty much safe for anything that he tries to do. So yeah, let's see. And that's exactly how my turn is gonna go. So Garden. I don't know. I don't even know why I tried this. Like, I was thinking, oh, maybe I can pop his scales, but the Baguska even negates that. So I'm just gonna go Serra. I believe I can still activate my Holotea. So special summon something, and these are 3 monsters I can go SP for. Banish one, then go with the Adipus, destroy another one, and then we are happy. So this thing only protects the monsters. He has 1 card in his hand, and he's going to try and go for the Bloom play, but I have Veiler for that, so this is just game. So yeah, I win the duel, and I'm happy to have learned something again. Yeah, those pendulum scales are annoying and they should have been in the graveyard. So yeah, that was it for this video. I hope you guys liked it. Like I said before in the previous video, if you have any comments on how you think I should do this, or maybe shorten some time, maybe 2 in 1 video, I don't know, maybe less commentary and just let them rip. Stuff like that, just comment down below what you want, and maybe I can think of that for future videos. So yeah, this was Traptrix versus Melodious. See you guys in the next one. Ciao.